Betwabu, Betwabu, Betwabu. Top of the day, beautiful people. All right, let's get started here. Oh, did you take trash out last night? It's just the trash, not the recycle. I don't see about it. Did you get the rest of the extra trash that didn't fit? Everything. Okay. All right. Betwabu, everybody. It is Wednesday, December the 18th, 2019. Day 22, year 2. This is our second year doing this, and we have started over. Today we're reading Exodus 14, 15, and 16. People about to get stuck at the river. All right, they ain't going to be stuck for long, though. All right, let's go to Exodus 14. Okay. And Yahuwah spake unto Massa, saying, Speak unto the children of Yisrael, that they turn and encamp before Phia between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal Zephon, before it shall encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say to the children of Yisrael, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness hath shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he shall follow after them. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am Yahuwah. And they did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and his servants was turned against the people. And they said, Why have we done this? That we have let Yisrael go from serving us. And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them. And Yahuwah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Yisrael. And the children of Yisrael went out with a high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pi-hahiroth, before Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew high, the children of Yisrael lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Yisrael cried out unto Yahuwah. And they said unto Massa, Because there was no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is it not this word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, Let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die out here in the wilderness. And Massa said unto the people, Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahuwah, which he will show to you this day. For the Egyptians whom you have seen to this day, ye shall see them no more forever. Yahuwah shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. That'll be something good for us to remember in the coming days. Yahuwah shall fight for us. Hold your peace. And Yahuwah said unto Massa, Wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Yisrael that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Yisrael shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahuwah, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of Yahuwah, which went before the camp of Yisrael, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Yisrael, and it was a cloud and darkness to them. But it gave them light by night to these, that one came not near the other all the night. And Massa stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahuwah caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Yisrael went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch Yahuwah looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, and they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, Let us flee from the face of Yisolili, for Yahuwah fighteth for them against the Egyptians. And Yahuwah said unto Massa, Stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. And Massa stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and Yahuwah overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Yisolili, or the children of Israel, walked upon dry ground in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus Yahuwah saved Yisolili that day out of the land of the Egyptians. And Yisolili saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Yisolili saw that great work which Yahuwah did unto the Egyptians, and the people feared Yahuwah and believed Yahuwah and his servant Massa. All right, Exodus chapter 15. Then sang Massa and the children of Yisolili this song unto Yahuwah, and spake, saying, I will sing unto Yahuwah, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. Yahuwah is my strength and song, and he has become my salvation. He is my zombie. Remember, zombie means God. He is my God. And I will prepare him a habitation, my father's God, and I will exalt him. Yahuwah is a man of war. Yahuwah is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his host has he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Thy right hand, O Yahuwah, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Yahuwah, hath dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of thine excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee. Thou sentest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as stubble. And with the blast of thy nostrils, the waters were gathered together, and the flood stood upright as a heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. Thou didst blow the wind, and the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like unto thee, O Yahuwah, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Thou stretched out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Philistina. Yes, Palestina. It's spelled different from Philistia. There's no H. It says Palestina. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of thine arm. Shall they be as still as a stone till thy people pass over, O Yahuwah, till thy people pass over, which thou hast purchased. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Yahuwah, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Yahuwah, which thou hands have established. Yahuwah shall reign forever and ever. For the horses of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and Yahuwah brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Yisolili went on dry ground in the midst of the sea. And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out with her with timbrels and with dances. And Miriam answered them, Sing ye to Yahuwah, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea. And Massa brought Yisolili from the Red Sea, and they went into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And the people murmured against Massa and said, What shall we drink? And he cried unto Yahuwah, and Yahuwah showed him a tree, which when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. And there he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them, and said, If thou wilt diligently hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah thy God, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am Yahuwah that healeth thee. And they came to Elim, where the 12 wells of water, and 70 palm trees, and they were encamped there by the waters. Last chapter for the day, Exodus chapter 16. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Yisolili came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Yisolili murmured against Massa and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Yisolili said unto him, Would to God that we had died by the hand of Yahuwah in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Then said Yahuwah unto Massa, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Massa and Aaron said unto the children of Yisolili, At even then ye shall know that Yahuwah hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning then ye shall see the glory of Yahuwah, for he that heareth your murmurings against Yahuwah. And what are we that ye murmur against us? And Massa said, This shall be, when Yahuwah shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that Yahuwah heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against Yahuwah. And Massa spake unto Aaron, Say unto all the congregation of the children of Yisolili, Come near before Yahuwah, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Yisolili, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of Yahuwah appeared in a cloud. And Yahuwah spake unto Massa, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Yisolili. Speak unto them, saying, At evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah your God. And it came to pass that at evening the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew was lay and gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as a hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Yisolili saw it, they said to one another, It is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Massa said unto them, This is the bread which Yahuwah hath given you to eat. This is the thing which Yahuwah hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, and omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Yisolili did so, and gathered some more and some less. So each gathered enough for their own house, so you are only to gather as much as is sufficient for your own house. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Massa said, Let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Massa, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Massa was wroth with them. And remember, they have just come out of Egypt, and Yahuwah is teaching them. He's teaching them to obey him. He's teaching them how to trust him and to listen to him. So with all these little small things, okay, we're going to teach them this. We're going to teach them about the Sabbath and how to obey it. And we're going to use manna to do it. You know, this is what I want you to tell them to do. Gather it up every day for 6 days. But on the 6th day, gather enough for the 7th day. Because on the 7th day is a Sabbath. and you are to rest. And we're about to get into that. And we're going to see, they're going to try it. As sure as you know they black, they're going to try it. They're going to try it. So, notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Massa, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Massa was wroth with them, and they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day, when they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Massa. And he said unto them, This is that which Yahuwah hath said, Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahuwah. Bake that which you will bake today, and seethe that which you will seethe, and that which remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they laid it up until the morning, as Massa bade, and it did not stink, neither were there any worms therein. And Massa said, Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto Yahuwah. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days shall ye gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. And Yahuwah said unto Massa, How long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that Yahuwah hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. That's why, like on a Sabbath, here in the Americas, especially over here in where we live in North America, Saturday seems to be the day. Like Friday night, people going out to the club, they hanging out, going out on dates and stuff. Saturday, you doing stuff. Our kids got soccer games and all this stuff. And when we started actually reading this and looking at it, it's like, wait a minute, they're doing everything on Saturday, and people use Sunday to go to church. I'm like, oh yeah, we need to adjust. And it was hard, so I stopped. I'm like, well, I'm not about to commit my children to all these different sports. For one, I don't want to be driving them, or I don't want to be soccer mom. I do not want to be soccer mom. I got way too many kids to be playing soccer mom, and everybody be in different sports, and it's going to be me, the one that's going to be driving around to all these 15 billion gazillion sports activities. Not on my watch. Absolutely not. So, which was a good thing, because I was already doing a lot, still doing a lot. So I'm like, that kind of worked out for us. So we're just going to rest. We're going to stay in our house. We're going to chill out. We're going to rest at home. Mind you, it was hard. People got stuff going on, this. Fight, you got a cookout going on, or the summertime, this. I'm like, his scripture said every man stay in his place on the Sabbath. No, we're going to miss it. I said, but if you have something tomorrow, we're going to church tomorrow. Oh, well, all right, whatever. So we started even changing our family activities from Saturday to Sunday, where everybody in church and stuff. Let me tell you, when you go out to eat, if you get there before church let out, you get the best seats. And whether you go to a buffet or to a restaurant, because you ain't got all the church folk flooding in after church hours, taking up all the seats and stuff in all the restaurants. So I was like, oh shoot, I like this. We don't have to wait for them to replenish the food. They keep it, it's nice and hot, and you out of biscuits or this or whatever. I'm just saying, so that, even just doing that is such a peace. It's such a peace. So try my best, because I have a huge family. I got like a bunch of people to cook for on a daily basis, multiple meals. So I'm getting better about preparing my Sabbath day meals on Friday. So whip out the crock pot, or maybe I'll put a lasagna together, so that way I only need to put it in the oven. And some people go as far as to say, well, you shouldn't even cut on your oven or anything. Okay, but even if I did cook it, we got a microwave. They say don't touch nothing. I'm like, you know what? Look, let me go back here and check this. Because a lot of stuff I do realize they're pulling from Talmudic practices. The people call them the fake Jews, or the Jewish people. It's a lot of stuff. They add a lot of stuff to this that just shouldn't be. So I'm like, listen, don't come to me with no Talmudic stuff. I'm doing exactly what this say. I ain't going to be doing no major work in the cooking and stuff. I prepare, and then we're going to heat it up. So I'm like, Father, if I'm wrong, please convict me. And then, I don't know, you're going to have to supernaturally heat this food because we eat cooked meals and it's going in the refrigerator. We don't like to eat cold stuff. I mean, if we had to, we would. I mean, but you get what I'm saying, right? So we're really trying to get rid of all the leaven out of the loaves, all the improper things, all the extra stuff that they put on top of y'all's word. I'm really trying to decipher truth from error and just stick completely to what Yahuwah says, not interpretations of men and you should be doing it. I say, I take issue with that because that's not what y'all said, because you didn't just added your whole little spin on that, and I don't know. You do that, we gonna do this, but we getting better, but I know some people, I mean, because we're still in the land of our captivity, we're scattered, and some people just can't. They're committed to jobs where they have to work. Some people have the opportunity where they can adjust their schedule, and may y'all do that for all his people, those who want to be obedient and obey the Sabbath. And I've even found out, like my sister, before she actually changed her schedule, and she's an RN, so they make their schedules like a month in advance. So on those Sabbath that she absolutely had to work and couldn't get anybody to switch with her, she always said, you know what, they put me at the desk today, and she literally had a peaceful day. I'm like, y'all's faithful. He faithful. Even if you couldn't get it off, they always kind of like set her at a desk, and she didn't have any patience or anything. She just pretty much on a quiet floor, or she was set to just watch one particular patient who she said pretty much slept the entire shift. She did the vitals and everything. She said she was sitting listening to her Bible or study or something like that. I said, y'all is faithful in all things, so those who have the heart to do what's right, we always see y'all come through for us, so we have the heart, and we're trying our best to be obedient as we're learning. Like when we learn and we find out we're doing something wrong, we make immediate adjustments, So, and that should be the heart of all of us, because he has to reteach us, just like he had to reteach them everything, because they had been sojourning in the land of Egypt for about 430 years, but they were in hard bondage, after Joseph died, a little over 200 something years. And mind you, they weren't as we go through here, we'll see that they couldn't even keep the Sabbath. They worked them, like you hear that saying, you may have heard it, man, I working like a Hebrew slave. They literally worked them every day. They didn't give a rest. As a matter of fact, Yahuwah is going to call that out. He said, I'm giving you this day of rest because when you were in Egypt, they didn't let you rest. They worked you every day, so he's teaching them step by step everything, because they hadn't done it for so long. So the laws, the commandments, and the way of life had to be reintroduced to them. So with that being said, let me help you finish this, y'all. Okay. Verse 29. See, for that Yahuwah hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. And let me tell you something. I wanted to. That's why I said this, because this is gonna come in handy in the days to come. Don't let the Sabbath catch you out the house. They doing mass shootings and all these freak accidents and stuff. Oh, okay. Let me give you one more example. I'm gonna finish reading this because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 more verses. Okay. So a few weeks ago, actually it's been a couple months, because my sister's on this side now, right? And the high schools are notorious for Friday night football games and stuff like that. And but now in the wintertime, it gets dark a lot sooner, so the games go into Sabbath hours. And so I was like, Jeremiah, he has to say, nope, sorry, the Sabbath Thursday game, okay, but the Sabbath, no. You see how soon it gets dark? I said, no, we're not going to have it, and especially since this one incident happened with my sister's kids. One Friday night, a couple months ago, when it first started getting dark early, they went to a high school football game that the city had. And in Newport News, all of the high school football games are held at Todd Stadium and not at the high schools. That's just the way it's always been for the most part. As long as we've been in Newport News or Virginia, whatever, they always have the high school events at Todd. It's a stadium that they have. They always have those events at Todd Stadium. So anybody see where everybody know any football games, anything going on, it's at Todd Stadium in Newport News, right? So on this particular day, and it was on the news. my sister let her girls, they asked a couple times to go to the football game, and my sister let them go. And I didn't know that was on. I'm at home. I'm all the way in Chesapeake and everything. But Alicia mentioned something about it. But she was like, they just, going to a football game and stuff. Do you know there was a shooting at that football game that night? The girls called their mama hollering and screaming. They had to find each other and stuff. And why weren't y'all together in the first place? Because they got their own set of friends. They're about only a couple years apart, but they were sitting with their own friends. Thank y'all that neither one of them got hurt. A couple people did get hurt, but they didn't get hurt. I'm like, see, had y'all had y'all butts in the house, y'all wouldn't have even been caught up in that. You think they went to any more football games on the Sabbath? Absolutely not. Let me tell you, it only takes one public flogging for people to listen. Well, some people, they need more than one public flogging. Some people just don't get it. They got to get their tails tore off before they listen. I ain't that person. I am not the person. What we spoke. Okay, I'm going in the house. Like I've been accused all my life. People call me a loser or a square and stuff. I was like, yeah, you just doing a bunch of talk. That don't bother me. I don't know. It's something about me. Yahuwah has given me I ain't gonna say a hard demeanor, but I've always been the type of person where what people say to me and say about me does not bother me. I may think about it, but I realize they don't control my life. And I've always had that going on about me. And I can truly see why now as I'm older. And as Yahuwah gives me dreams about people and stuff that I don't even know is going on in their life. But if I feel like I'm supposed to tell them, I'll tell them. And I found out a couple years later, some time period down the road, that my dreams were spot on. I'm like, it's Yahuwah, it's not me. It ain't because I'm whatever, But I'm just saying, things like that, it don't bother me. I'm solid. I ain't gonna say I'm just solid in everything, but some things people talking about me does not bother me at all. It really doesn't. I guess I've been, and with different things I've gone through in life, I've been trained in that area really, really well. People cannot pierce me with their words. They can say anything. I'm gonna go on about my day. You sit there and keep running off at the mouth.
As long as you don't touch me.
Look, I was just about to say that as long as you don't get in my face and put your hands on me, you going about your business. Look, we good. You can sit over there and run your mouth, or like my daddy said, keep on, you going over there and flap off at the lips, or keep japping off if you want to, so. Okay, so let me finish this, y'all. All right. So, stay in your place on the Sabbath. You will keep your life another day. I'm just saying you won't be caught up in accidental things or kidnappings or shootings or just being caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. This principle may save your life one day. Stay in the house on the Sabbath and rest. Just go to sleep. Go to bed. Go to sleep. All right. Got a few more verses, y'all. Verse 30 of Exodus chapter 16. So the people rested on the seventh day, and the house of Yisrael called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And Massa said, this is the thing which Yahuwah hath commanded. Fill an omer of it to be kept for your generations, that they may see bread wherever I have fed you in the wilderness, when I have brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Massa said unto Aaron, take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before Yahuwah to be kept for your generations. And as Yahuwah had commanded Massa, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Yisrael did eat manna 40 years until they came to a land inhabited. And they did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is a 10th part of an ephah. And that verse 36 is the last verse of chapter 16 of Exodus. And that is our reading for today, beautiful people. Exodus 14, 15, and 16. It is Wednesday, December the 18th, 2019, day 22, year 2 of us reading through the Holy Scriptures. So that being said, beautiful people, let's go ahead and get out of here because we have to get about our day. May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and lift his countenance upon us and be gracious unto us. And may he give us his salama, his peace, or some people say shalom, meaning wholeness in all that concerns us in every area of our lives. He's concerned about. So may he continue to keep us as we keep his commands. All right, beautiful people, I will see you in the morning.
Peace.